Hey everybody. So this is in regards to a particular person. I do feel very bad about my absence. I don't feel good about it. But I don't want to beat myself too much about it because then I'm just going to continue to perpetuate a low vibrational cycle for myself, and it's not going to help me persevere or do anything different. So beating yourself about shit is just it's not going to solve anything. So it's good to be like, okay, I fucked up. That's not good, but don't like. And I'm not the master at this, so I'm just sharing with you guys my experience because I can spend a lot of time beating the shit out of myself, and it's just like it's not helping anything, and it's not coming from the most highs. It's coming from a lower place. So be careful with doing that. But I just wanted to share with the internet and a particular person, if she happens to watch this video, that it does weigh on my heart that I've been absent, and I can also see how me sharing writings of heart energy to a certain person and speaking about a certain person without actually getting involved, in a more direct way with a particular person can seem fucking weird and creepy and strange and like just I can see how it could be infuriating even. um and I do apologize for the pain that I've caused. Like it's never been my intent. Some things here are very, like some things I seem to pick up rather well, and other things I have trouble with. They're very challenging to me, and one of them has been, especially with these last half decade of my life, has been socializing. A lot with the kratom and just my isolation and just the things that have gone on with my friends in the past and where I am today and all this and that has put me into a relatively, a lot of, I mean, I feel I feel more comfortable and be not socializing, even though I know it's not good for me, than I do socializing. And I know that's not in a good place. It's not healthy for a human being. In my opinion, it's not healthy for somebody not to want to socialize. But that has been um, a very prevalent theme in my life, has been anti-socialism. And like again, I didn't realize it was so bad until Pops actually was like, "Yo, man, you're not wanting to hang out with people, like that's stemming from a demonic, like a relatively evil, lower vibrational source." And he's absolutely right. I do think so. Now, if you really go out to isolate yourself to try to clear your mind and get away from distractions and just find your voice and who you really are, that's a good thing. Like going 40 days and 49, doing all that, like many people have done this in the past, like that can be very healthy for you. But if you're continuing to live a life that's just isolated from the rest of the world and not wanting to engage and try to interact and all this and that, like if that's your mindset, that's your MO, you're probably not in the most healthy place. At least I'm not in the most healthy place when I am like that. So I just wanted to share with a particular person, if they happen to watch this, and everybody else who happens to watch this, that you know, um, I'm sorry for that. But you got to realize throughout my life, like I have dealt with a lot of, I mean, I was bullied as a kid and shit like that. But my friends, like, it's a lot of the times they love me when I'm there and I'm supportive of what they're doing. But it seemed like almost like I flipped a switch when I stopped going along with their fucking with them leading the way. I mean, I started speaking up for myself and like, hey man, I don't really agree with that. Can we do things differently? Like when I started speaking up for myself, standing up for myself, my relationship started to change. And this all happened around the same time, like when I started interacting more with a particular person. And then the interactions with a particular person, there was a lot of the same type of shit: bullying, trying to like dominate people, trying to manipulate, exploitate, lie to people, deceive people, like trying. I felt genuinely like there was not everything was intended to harm me, but I do feel like there was a good amount intention to literally harm my person. And that in itself deters me, like on many different levels. On just like a personal level, like, well, that's not even like romantic. It's it's not very loving. It's not healthy. It's like it's not really what I want to be about. Like I'm here to try to help people, and this person that I have ideas, I have feelings for, is literally trying to hurt me. And even though I know that like I should be able to help and just take that pain, and transmutate it and change it and not let it affect me so, like, we're all different levels. At that time, at that moment in my life, I was not able, even though for a little bit there I kind of was able to, but for the most part, to really have changed things, in a dramatic way to where we're not going back and doing the same shit again and again. Like I was not able to do that. So I failed in that respect. In me, I was not strong, and that's okay. Like I just wasn't ready to do that at that time in that place. And I don't know. I could be close. I do feel I'm a little bit closer, but I don't think I'm still quite there yet to be able to, um, transmutate that situation if it's feels like it wants to be. It's also the willingness of the people. Like, they've still got to have the desire within themselves to want to change. But essentially, I feel like that's what I would have to do. Is if I were to go into that arena again, I would literally be going in there with the intent of, like, okay, I'm gonna have to, like, really stand up and, like, change all of this and deal with all this, flack and all this, ammunition and attacks against me, and just all this, like, rejection and lies and like, just mind games and all this fucking shit that I really don't want to deal with. But because I do have a deep affection for a person, for wherever it may go, I'm always going to have a deep affection for the particular person, as well as others too. But for her especially, I have a deep affection for her, and that's never going to change no matter what happens. But just because you may have a deep affection or a love for somebody doesn't mean you like them or you like what they're doing. And one of the ways that you can enable people, if you continue to support what they're doing and go along with what they're doing, and it's not really healthy for them or other people, that is enabling them. So it's like, I don't want to, it's not right for me, it's not good for me and them, for me to sit there and to allow certain things to be said, in my presence, without me saying anything about it. Because that's what's got me in trouble a lot in my past, is I would hear people and see people doing things and I'm like, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good, bad things are going to happen from that. And sure enough, bad things would happen. A lot of times as a child and as a younger adult, I would close my tongue and not say anything out of fear of speaking up. Just that, like, just not wanting to confront. Really, it's that demon inside that person, or whatever you want to call it, a low vibrational spirit, whatever. That's what I would be confronting. That's what I would be changing. And that spirit is not going to want me to do that change. So they're going to send the resistance out to me to keep me from speaking up. And I've fallen victim, or I've allowed these lower vibrational spirits, energies, to hold sway over my tongue for some time. And I've seen the detrimental effects that come from doing so. So until I am ready to truly speak up and to essentially embrace all the attacks and all the negativity and all the pain that will come my way, that could come my way from going into that arena, it's just not gonna. It's just not. I have to be ready for that. Like, I mentally, for me, in order to do this thing, I have to be ready to deal with all this type of shit, like getting killed, all of the abuse. To me, it's abuse. If you're trying to hurt somebody because you're in a hurt place and you're just using them as your punching bag, you're abusing somebody. I abuse plants and herbs all the time. I use them more than I should, out of moderation, and that is an abuse, and it has an abuse effect on my body, and it also sends out an abusive energy into the environment. It is what it is. I'm not completely free of sin or lower vibrational energies myself, but and it's something I'm aware of and I acknowledge and I want to get better of. But at the same time, I also know, like, if I'm doing that, then I'm not in the most loving place myself. So it's like, if I'm trying to build something with somebody when I know myself I still have a lot of pain and healing to do within inside of my core, again, it's just not the most cipher way of doing things. So that's why, if two peoples want to come together in an agreement on a way of progression, on a way of healing, on a way of solving the problems, and speaking to each other and connecting to each other on a real good, loving way, then that's good. I think that can be helpful, and that can help people change in a good way, and it can also speed up the pace of change. But until both parties are on that level of thought, then I don't think it can be detrimental for you guys. The detriment's only going to help you learn the lesson in order to grow. So, like, saying that, I want to be careful saying that, because there's a way of looking at stuff to where nothing is actually detrimental. Everything is progressive, but part of the progress is the detriment. So. But, until both parties are aligned in that similar common ground, things aren't going to, you could be entertaining a very chaotic and conflicting relationship. And that's not something that I want, because that's not really love to me. That's it's just not going to help people grow in a very good way. You guys are just going to eventually probably keep on fighting until either you break up or split, or until you come to the conclusion that you're going to have to find common ground. And then you work on that common ground, and that can take you to higher places. But until then, it just seems foolish to me to get involved with anybody, if we're both not on the page that we need to both come together and grow in what ways that we both need to grow in. It's different for each of us, but to know that we all have things that we need to work on, and to be open and honest and vulnerable about that, and then to just commit to the change and work the change. And each person's going to have a different level of progress, and that's fine. But it's all about being genuine with your progress. And even if you're not wanting to progress, at least be genuine with the fact that you don't feel like progressing. Even that in itself is progress, because at least you're being honest with yourself and where you are. And that honesty will in itself breed a more authenticity, which is going to help you see the root cause of the problem, which will help you in the future or even in the now solve that problem. So honesty is definitely key. And that's also something else I haven't felt a particular person has been very good about being, at least in regards to me, is honesty. So all right, I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.